Hi everyone, Raven here. Thank you so much for watching and for supporting our social enterprise. I'm Raven, founder of financial literacy social enterprise MoneyMind.global, and I wanted to say hi and cover this topic, which we just talked about in the live broadcast, how to start now versus feeling ready. So I fell into this trap a lot earlier in my life, and I realized that it's something that can hold a lot of us back, especially in our personal finances or other areas of our life. Now, what I realized is that feeling ready or waiting to feel ready, while valid in a lot of instances, can sometimes be our brain's way of making an excuse for not doing it now. So if you find yourself noticing or suspecting that you are waiting until you're ready because you're doing it later or procrastinating, then you might want to just start now. Frankly, that's how it is. If you feel like, oh, that's true, and I know it's true, but then it's true, right? So here are some hacks for how we can get started now before feeling ready. And these are things that I use in my own life if I need to start something or implement something new. So we can sandwich things between habits that are already established. So this sandwiching method has a number of different names. I like to call it the sandwiching method because it's easiest to remember that way. And so you have an established habit. So say at MoneyMind, we have our 5 pillars, okay, of money mindsets, savings, budgeting, investing, wills and legacy. And these 5 pillars are the 5 pillars of the 5 pillars of financial stability, which are foundational pillars that I realized are kind of the checklist that we want to have covered off in our personal finances. So what I was saying in the live broadcast is ideally we'd be able to say, how do I feel about my current status? And am I comfortable with my current status in these 5 areas? My money mindsets, my savings, my budgeting, my investing, my wills and legacy. You can use that as a checklist right now to check yourself and your personal finances and say, how am I in these areas? That's one step you can take. You don't need to feel ready for it. You can just go ahead and do it. Money mindsets, savings, budgeting, investing, wills and legacy. How are you? Those 5 areas. Now we have pillars, 1-hour pillars in these that are the paid pillars, but we also have free samplers that are only 10 minutes. So if you're unsure about how to answer those questions about your status, you might want to hop over to our website, www.moneymind.global, and try the free samplers in each of these areas. It asks you 3 questions, it's 10 minutes per sampler, and you can pick and choose the bundle or individual samplers just as applies to you and find out whether those samplers are relevant to you and your life and help you gain a little clarity on where you're at in terms of each of these areas. So what I realized is that when we're stable in all of these areas, or at least comfortable with our decisions and our path in each of these areas, then we're on the right track in terms of growing our future stability and financial security, really. So essentially, we want to be not avoiding any of these areas, which brings us to the topic of how to start now versus feeling ready. So, for example, if we had one of these free samplers that we wanted to do, say maybe it's investing, and we said, oh God, I kind of feel like I should get better at educating myself in investing. If you have coffee in the morning before you do something else, you might want to just do that 10-minute pillar while you're having your coffee. It's 10 minutes. You can just start it while you're making your breakfast or doing your coffee. Just listen to it. Think of answers to the questions or write them down. If you want to get the maximum results, you'd be writing stuff down. But just getting it done quickly, even if it's not perfectly, is better than not doing it at all. So anything that we feel like we're waiting till we're ready and we kind of want to get done and we know we do desire to get it done, but we're avoiding or procrastinating or just not doing it for whatever reason, we might want to break it down into tiny parts. So put it between 2 habits and put a tiny part in between 2 habits to let our brain know that this is a safe thing to do and to take the next steps in. Because getting started is the hardest part, and after that, following on with momentum is a lot easier. So what we're going to do is we can either sandwich things between 2 habits, or we can do that together with choosing an area that we are best at, for example, savings, and adding on education or information in that area that we're already good at. So say I'm already amazing at savings and I want to add on education in savings that might also branch out into educating me in another area like investing where I might be less good. So I can start with adding on to the area that I'm best at, savings, and then keep educating myself in like how savers invest or good investments for saver personality types or the types of investments most popular with saver types. Like as long as we know our strengths in these areas in terms of our money personality and how we are in each of these 5 pillars, we'll be able to make decisions to educate ourselves in a way that is compatible with our style. Like for me as a spender type who isn't great at budgeting, I know that expense tracking and tracking my budget every day is very beneficial to me, and I really have to work at it. But it's also really beneficial to me to know about different types of budgets while knowing that really strict ones don't work for my personality style. And that's okay, because for years I tried to keep fitting myself into a certain personality style budget type, and it just didn't work. In my brain, I thought, oh, that's so great. The zero-sum budget is amazing. But really, something like a 25% budget that I've created or the zero budget is way better for my personality type in reality, how I actually am versus how I think I want to be. So to get started, it's good to know where we're at, know ourselves. But if we're not there yet, we can just take a step in an area that we know that we're already good at. Like in these 5 pillars, money mindsets, savings, budgeting, investing, wills, and legacy, if we're great at one area, dive into that. If you've already got your will done, dive into that. Whatever it may be in these 5 pillars, just take a leap, dive into the area that you're best at, and then see how it goes from there. Try the next pillar, the next pillar, the next pillar that maybe you're comfortable with or curious about instead of just good at. And then you can start to work towards the area that you're less comfortable with and start to realize that, or help your brain realize, because you realize, but your brain is like, no, I'm scared. So help your brain realize this is safe. Learning about this area is safe. We don't need to take any massive actions. We're just educating. We're just learning in small bite-sized way in the direction that we want to go. And that will help us feel like we're getting started without needing to feel ready, because we are just taking a small step. I don't need to feel ready to take a small step. All I need to do is try and get through it as quickly as possible, ripping off a Band-Aid, just start it, sandwich it between 2 other habits, get it done, ticked off. It's like having a checkbox that you need to tick off. Just tick, 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 tick. Even if it's not perfect, it just tick, 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 tick is the goal. So we can add on to the things we're already good at, or we can attack the things that we feel like we want to attack and approach because we feel like we'll find that more gratifying to have overcome this fear or area we're avoiding. This is a little bit trickier because we can sometimes vacillate between wanting to be brave and then our brain saying this is dangerous, I want to avoid it. So this, like jumping into the area you're least comfortable with, is not the best way to go about implementing like how to start without feeling ready, because you might feel ready to attack it and then later you might revert to feeling uncomfortable again. But if you are ready to attack an area that you are less comfortable in, then absolutely go ahead. Attack those areas that you feel, oh, I could be better at this, and then just tweak that, sort it out, sandwich it between the habits, and get it into your day. And then keep making small steps and small progresses in those areas as well. Like perhaps you do the savings or investing pillar and you realize, oh, actually, I'd like to follow some Instagram accounts that talk more about these areas. I'd like to start micro-educating or micro-learning through my social media as I'm already on it anyways. So that's what I do on my Instagram. I've actually curated, if you go to moneymind.global on Instagram, you'll see the people we follow, and there's like 50 accounts that we follow, and a lot of them, most of them actually, are financial accounts. You can just follow any of those people and get them to show up in your feed so you are micro-educating in terms of the areas that you want to gain some momentum in or gain some micro-learning in to make yourself feel comfortable that you're not needing to be ready, and you're not needing to do anything emotional before starting. You're just kind of doing. You're not waiting for a thing to feel ready, blah, 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 to start. You're just doing tiny actions. You don't need to wait for anything to start those tiny actions. So that is my big hack on how to start now versus feeling ready. Because what I notice is I never feel ready for anything ever, but I can just get on with stuff and do it in the smallest step possible from now. So that was today's broadcast, and this is the summary of today's broadcast. Thank you for joining. I'm Raven, founder of financial literacy social enterprise, moneymind.global. I've been stumbling over this so much today. I don't know why. So thank you for watching, and I will see you on Instagram, on social media, here, on the website, on the blog, anywhere. See you next time.